there, and welcome back to my channel.
Myself and 12 Ways are going to show you some interesting things today.
Indeed, most of Stepford County Railway's secret structures.
Let's get straight into it. Enjoy the video! Look at Famous Green. We are here right in front of one of the only trains that can't move here, the Class 08. The Class 08 is basically one of the SCR shunters, or the only one. And it's the only train, one of the only trains to not have an interior. Moving on. Down here, down this road, you can see a building which somewhat looks like an Airlink sort of headquarters, like the Airlink one, but with a purple band on it. Could this be an express headquarters? Here we are. We're getting even closer now. This definitely looks like an express headquarters of some sort, although just not branded. It's right in front of one of the Class 331s. This is not used yet, but it may become used in the future.
If you spawn here at Willowfield, and you walk down to this broken road over here, you'll notice something very peculiar at the end of the road. Now, I've already made a video on this. You can watch it fully in the description below. Time for a time lapse. When you get to this point here, you'll notice something highly peculiar. What on earth is this line of trees? There doesn't seem to be anything in the middle of it. It's especially more suspicious when you take this bridge into account. It goes over nothing. You could easily fit a railway under here. When you get to the end of this line of trees, you'll notice this really suspicious station. Why are the platforms made of grass? Why is there a suspicious house here? Is this supposed to be the station house? Are these platforms made of grass because they're so old? You could easily fit about 3 tracks here. So many questions. SCR devs, we need more info. Will this ever be sneak peeked? I don't know. But here you'll notice there's a collection of paths. Handing over to Dom, because he has the answer.
Horton Rake is where these paths start. As you can see, the road turns into the type of path Dweller saw earlier. This grey crossover path will take you to Whitefield, and this grey path will take you to UFC. We won't explore them now, as that will take absolutely ages. And here we are at the suspicious station. Moving on.
I'm here at Morganstown, and there's something very interesting here. If you go above this bridge, and you navigate the siding for the Morganstown shuttle, you'll notice this. What's this line for? It takes you straight from Morganstown to Hampton Hargate. It's part of the Airlink tracks, although currently Airlink only uses the line from the airport down to Morganstown and down to Hampton Hargate. Why is there a line from Morganstown to Hampton Hargate? I don't know. It's very suspicious. Will it ever come to service into one day? I don't know. It's possible. but I'd say it's pretty unlikely.
Whitney Green is an extremely odd-looking station. There are disused platforms that are over here on the station, on this side of the station. This is for TramLink. TramLink is currently out of action, with extremely low shelters, extremely low lampposts, and there is only a little connection to the waterline tracks. TramLink has a few other stations on the line, including Greenslade, which is just down the line for waterline as well. There is also another station called Robson Way. We are heading there now via this access road. Here we are at Robson Way. There are very steep stairs to the platforms, again with low station shelters. Keep in mind that the colour at Whitney Green was white, and the colour at Robson Way is brownish red. There are still incredibly low lampposts. On to Greenslade. Greenslade, as you know, is the terminus for Waterline. The station here is quite bland. This states there are no information boards for TramLink. This states that TramLink will not be coming anytime soon. If we head this way, you can come onto the TramLink platforms at Greenslade. Bear in mind that the colour here is blue. There are no station shelters at all at this station, but there are incredibly low lampposts. This is the end of the line for the overhead wires. This is mostly the only place in SCR which you can walk on the tracks.
Beyond Greenslade, there are actually 2 more TramLink stations. We're going to explore them now. To get there, you must follow the TramLink line past Greenslade. Over there, you can see Berrily as well. This station is called Berrily Denton Road. It's very close to Berrily Station, which is just over there. It's a little bit odd, since the station itself is only held up by a few poles, and there are floating parts. I can confirm that there used to be a bridge here, but it went over nothing. As you can see here, the shelters here are also very short, and there are no lampposts. The station is also red in colour. There is one more station past Berrily Denton Road. Let's go and explore that now. I found something very weird here. There seems to be a floating fence on the ground. What could the SCR devs be doing with this? I don't know. Possibly it could be a future road, or something like that. Let's keep going. You can see the next station over there. Here we are at the final stop of the current TramLink model, West Berrily. As you can see, the station is also very small, with very low down shelters and lampposts. Just like Greenslade, over here, you can walk across the tracks without despawning. Note, the station's theme is white. West Berrily is one of the very few places in SCR where the tracks just suddenly end after the station. This is very rare, and you wouldn't really see this in real life.
To Berrily, one of the most beautiful stations on the network. As Connect and Airlink stop here, it is mainly a prioritised station. There are loads of tongue-twisting shops here, as well as a few little secrets. As like at Hemdon Park, there was a line of trees. Here at Berrily, there is another line of trees, with nothing between them. These trees are floating this time. They start at one end and just end at the other, so there is not really much point in these trees. To the left of us, you can see TramLink. We have already explored this, so I will not go on about that. And here we are. We are at the end of the line of trees, at the Airlink headquarters.
There's another little secret with Berrily that's very peculiar. In case you haven't noticed, on the Airlink tracks, there are some suspicious sidings coming out at East Berrily and at Ellesmere Junction. These tracks are completely disused. Now, over here, you'll notice I'm going parallel to the station platforms of Berrily. Although, at the other end, on the Ellesmere side, you'll notice this. There is a track here that just goes into a wooden wall. This is very odd. Why would a train track go straight into a wooden wall? At Ureb's shop, Berries of Berrily. We don't know, but this could potentially be a siding of a new depot at Berrily. These sidings show a lot of sign that there could be a depot coming here soon, and it would be very useful, since drivers on the Stepford Central to Morganstown route can only spawn at Stepford Depot.
Welcome to Coxly, a station that has been recently upgraded. It looks wonderful. Besides that, there are a few little secrets about Metro, the old operator that has been discontinued fully. If you come down this road, Coxly Newtown, which is now a disused station, the entrances are down here. The transport for Stepford headquarters is also nearby, and the station entrance is just here. It has been blocked off, so you cannot go down there. If you were lucky enough to go down there, you are one of the lucky ones. There are also some rails sat here. You can walk on these. On to our next fact at Coxly. If you go into these bushes, these are also great hiding spots if you would like to play some hide and seek in SCR. There is a little wall over here, which is quite a big wedge. There is a sign that says Metro. It is also very rusted. There are also some wooden sleepers next to it. This sign states Metro will never come back. It has been abandoned and left aside from the developers.
We're here at James Street, which I'd say is probably the creepiest SCR station. It hasn't been upgraded in all its existence, and it's in a very, very dark and gloomy trench, with a creepy pair of buffers here. As you can see, the station is a terminus, but it keeps going. This is interesting because it does actually go quite far. We're going to explore it now. At the end of the tunnel, you'll notice the tracks go back up to the surface. But the true mystery is, why are these tracks red? Well, although it may seem spooky, there is a reason why it is red. Bantek stated in a really old live stream that he made them red to remind them that he needed to replace them. However, this is questionable because the James Street extension doesn't seem likely to come in a very soon update. You'll notice over here that there are a few junctions, and the tracks split into quad tracks via this bridge. As you can see, this is a very unusual bridge. It doesn't seem to have any support. It just looks like a floating track. Now, unfortunately, as of SCR version 1.6, you can't go any further along here. The tracks are just too hard to walk on because they've updated the sensors recently. However, there is this river here, and we're going to explore that a little bit later. Now, if you want to know what's beyond here, we don't actually know if it still has an old station there, but I can confirm there at least used to be a station there. I've made a video about this. Again, I'll link it in the description. Personally, I'd have to say I hate Water Newton Station. It's in the middle of nowhere, with an old rundown road, and this isn't even really an entrance. However, down the line, towards Hampton Hargate, there's something quite interesting. As you can see here, there seems to be a station. What could this be? It's named Upper Staploe, and it has red signs. It seems to be abandoned. The platforms seem to only have connect services towards Llyn and express or airlink services towards the city. There also seem to be a couple of entrances on the other platforms, but they're not really being used. Let me give you a little bit of history about Upper Staploe. It was planned as part of the Metro programme in SCR before version 1.0. However, after they'd already built the station, the plans for Metro were scrapped, and it became part of the scenery. Moving on to our next secret. Now, I'd have to say Rocket Parade, is quite a nice station. It's a cute station in a nice area. It also has Bantech Systems headquarters next to it, a reference to the fact that Bantech is studying to be a rocket scientist. However, I'm here to show you the location of the old Winstree station. Don't know what Winstree is? Here's a diagram. Before SCR's version 1.0 update, the line towards Leighton used to terminate at Winstree. It was after that, in 1.0, that line was extended down to Leighton, and then later Edgemead, but that's irrelevant. So why was Winstree removed? Well, we don't actually know, but Bantech did state once in a live stream that they did remove it possibly because one of the SCR ex-devs broke the rules, and therefore they didn't want it in the game anymore. Now, Winstree would have gone on a straight line past Water Newton Station, and Bantech Systems HQ is the actual location of the old Winstree Station. It's been completely demolished now, but you can still visit it by spawning at Rocket Parade.
Welcome to Whitefield Lido. We're not going to train spot or get a train from here. We're going to look at some information boards. No, not the ones out here, but the ones on the platforms. There's something peculiar with them. Matty, as an ex-SCR developer, was the founder of West Benton Pet Supplies. For some of the stations he built, he dotted some West Benton Pet Supplies adverts around the map. Seen here at Whitefield Lido, Whitefield, Leighton City, and Starrylock. This is because Matty made all of these stations, so he thought it would be a good idea to put a West Benton Pet Supplies advert. If we head to Wester Coast, there is a peculiar shop. Wester Coast, there is a peculiar shop around here. If we head into Carlo's Courtyard, there is a shop here, which is West Benton Pet Supplies, which is way away from West Benton. This must have been made by Matty, because he is the founder of West Benton. Why would it be here if it wasn't for Matty? If you follow me this way, there is Matty's statue of his former SCR developer board right in front of the main shop of West Benton Pet Supplies.
We're here at Llyn by the sea today to show you something very, very, very odd you find when trespassing. Now, Llyn by the Sea is fairly recent, having opened in December of 2019 in version 1.4. There's some very, very fresh features here. However, I think there's something here that the developers forgot about. If you come here into the approach tunnels, you'll notice this. Now, I have to be very careful here. There's a missing baseplate here. As you can see, you just fall into the sky. I don't know why this is. Here's what it looks like from underneath. If you come down the promenade at Llyn by the Sea, you'll notice you come to the beach. However, there is something very peculiar about this beach. Here's a diagram. If you look at this diagram here, you'll notice that the beach seems to be on the wrong side of the map. It just collides with West Wyvern at the end. I don't know why the developers have done this. You can also see this beach at North Shore and at Starry Lock. You see over here is where the base plates collide.
Welcome to East Berrily, one of the most depressing stations on the network. We won't go into this. There is a foot crossing here, but the most peculiar thing is this blue building called Greenslade Security. This building, which is Greenslade Security, is nowhere near Greenslade, so why is it in East Berrily? We do not know. All that we know is Greenslade Security is a security company that works in Greenslade.
Now, Stepford Central is an amazing station. It's massive and it's a mega hub and it has loads of capacity. But there is a huge secret to it, and you can see it from behind here. If you spawn at the approach road and go to this viaduct here, you'll notice this. Platform 9 3/4. What's that for? Well, actually, you can walk through this wall and you'll come here to this sign. It reads, an Easter egg, but it's not even Easter egg. I guess Bantech it just likes to mess around. Welcome to the big empty space under Stepford Central. Touch me for a free badge. Now, I've already claimed this badge, obviously, so there isn't really much to do here once you've done it. But it's still really cool, the fact that you can be underneath Stepford Central. Don't worry, you're not trapped. You can just walk straight back out the wall when you're finished.
Welcome to the Stepford Central South Concourse. We're going to be doing something quite weird. Walking to Stepford Victoria. Yes, you heard me right. Walking to Stepford Victoria. They are insanely close to each other, so they are quite easy to walk to. But first, before we do that, we have to mention the Weight of the World badge. This person is Yareb RBLX. He supplied the shells for Matty's CSG trains, but they're slowly being replaced by overhead wires' new trains. If you climb this, you will get a free badge, like you do for platform 9 3/4. Moving on to Stepford Victoria. And here we are, just imagined, extremely quick.
We're here at Benton Bridge. This is a very run-down station, but it is getting upgraded after this video is released. It has been sneak peeked, or at least the entrance has. However, if you come down here to the express platforms, you can see something rather interesting that's quite rare. At this level crossing, you'll notice that instead of pebbles, the normal roadblocks texture that SCR uses, these tracks actually use the concrete texture. You can find other examples of this at Plainmere Green Depot and also here at Stepford Depot. We think there's a lot of other depots that use concrete tracks, but we won't cover all of them.
Back at Stepford Central again, where we started, but we're not ending it just yet. Right next to me is apparently Great Stepford Railway. If we come this way, if you zoom out far enough, you can see some ballast on this sort of building. We are unsure what it is.
If we go back to the section past James Street, to this river, you'll notice something very peculiar. It keeps going in both directions. This one, in this direction, would supposedly join up with the River Stepford. But, in this direction, here at Upper Staploe, you'll notice this river is a very similar wideness to the one that goes across the James Street extension. Well, it's because it's the same one. Surprisingly, it actually connects up to the river at James Street and goes down to Stepford. But it goes even further beyond that. The next place the river goes is at Westercoast. The ugly river, coming all the way from Stepford, ends here at Westercoast, beneath the beautiful viaduct. This river gets surprisingly wider at this point, and over there, the river just seems to end. Shame. I almost forgot about this one when making the video. However, you can actually walk underneath the station at Leighton Stepford Road. If you go down to this road and go straight onto the high street, you'll notice this. Platform 1 of Leighton Stepford Road, raised up on the platform. If you go behind here, look at that. You can walk underneath Leighton Stepford Road station. Thanks very much for watching this video.
If you enjoyed, please leave a like and perhaps subscribe if you haven't already.
Also, you should check out Dom's channel, linked in the description.
See you next time.
Platform 10 for the
Hey,
2025
by the way,
Stepford
do
Connect
you
service
think
to Port
a lot of
Elizabeth.
these things are related
Calling
to a
Stepford
possible
East,
freight operator
St.
in
Helens
SCR?
Bridge, Bowden,
Maybe. Train
Coxly,
Stuff has made a video about his theories.
Rand,
The
Port
link is in the
Elizabeth.
description to that video.
This train
Go
has
and watch
5
it.
coaches.
Yes, this is brilliant.
Yay!
Yee.
Best hobby ever.
This should go viral. We need. Oh, where'd you go? Oh no.